All right. Happy New Year, everybody. Well, as close as I can probably get with this video. I've only been in Japan for less than a week as of the time of this recording. But yeah, let's talk about things. So, last week, being December, a lot of Christmas parties, a lot of busy work. I had like 7 or 8 parties I had to run because of how my shift worked with all the classes. And it was pretty hectic, but I did what I could. Some went better than others, but just had to do what I could until the winter break came around. And it did. Christmas Eve, I flew all the way to the States on a 13-hour flight. It was an exhausting travel, as it always is. But I got to have like a whole spacious little arrangement where I was supposed to sit like right in the center of the plane where I'd be surrounded on all sides by people, but instead family ended up taking my seat and they asked if I wanted to switch, which gave me a window seat and an empty seat next to me. Pretty good deal. So yeah, overall, the travel wasn't too bad. Really, the most obnoxious part, as it always seems to be, is baggage claim, as well as filling out some immigration papers and the like. But, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, once I got to the States, well, actually, before I get that, one thing I had to do because I was going to be meeting up with family, including my brother, and he asked if I could bring an army, essentially, so we could do an actual game of Warhammer. So I sped painted and built a bunch of stuff for my army and brought what wasn't painted in like a little box, which took up pretty much the entire space of my carry-on. It is what it is. I didn't really have too much else that was in there aside from a couple things with lithium batteries. It's a lot of dangerous sounding stuff now that I think about it. But yeah, got all that on, no big problem. And yeah, got to hang out with the family for just shy of a couple weeks. Played some games, watched some movies, played with some dogs. It was good stuff. Went to a couple restaurants, one that had a train up front, where you wait to take your table, and went to a Mexican restaurant, which when I ordered like a Cajun enchilada, I think it was, they didn't give me a plate. They gave me a galldarn frying pan. But it was pretty good. It was pretty good. My only issue was that despite giving me like 6 little tortilla wraps, they were quite small compared to the amount of food they gave me. And jet lag kind of does something to one's appetite, where you can only eat so much. But we got to take the rest home, and I got to eat that throughout the week, which was pretty good. Made some shrimp fried rice for the family because they always seem to like that. What else? Leading up to when my brother eventually showed up with his girlfriend, I was doing some final painting of my minis, but I was able to get them done. Should have a pic of them available, a couple of them. And yeah. Everyone my sister and her wife got to visit for a very late Christmas gift exchange. I handed off a bunch of things that I bought for everyone in Tokyo, which I don't know if I brought up too much on that, but anyway. And then I got a bunch of Warhammer related stuff, which I was surprised by some of the things I got, including some enamel paints, washes, inks, and all that stuff. which, a bit of a jump ahead. We were a little worried on if that was going to be a problem bringing on the plane. Turns out no. But to be sure, I put in like the safety documents that they'd provide if you asked, and we just wrapped up the box with that. And yeah, we had our little Warhammer game. It was my first actual game with like my own minis and everything, 1,500 points. I had fun. I don't know if he had as much fun, because his bugs had a harder time hitting my golden boys, who have a much stronger armor save by comparison. I don't know how much this is going to make any sense to those who aren't big fans. But yeah, after that we celebrated New Year's mostly just by playing little games here and there. And then eventually everyone kind of went their separate ways. I wish I could have done more during the trip, but my goodness, jet lag hit me super hard this time around. And I only learned recently why that might have been is usually I don't have an issue with jet lag, but in this case, as it turns out, to help you transition with jet lag, you need a lot of sunlight, and it was just very cloudy and snowy for most of that week, so I was very tired and ended up going to bed early as a result on a couple days, which was very unfortunate. Maybe I need to order a sun lamp over there. I don't know. But it is what it is. And then ended up making my way back. Normally, supposed to work Mondays, but a coworker wanted to switch shifts for that week for whatever reason. So I took their Wednesday and they took my Monday. And in addition, because we had more staff joining in, as a sort of reverse of the one little video from months ago at this point, where I'm no longer in charge of every little thing, which is nice, because that's way too stressful for me. Yeah, the previous head teacher came back, so shifts and schedules got moved around, which resulted me in also having Tuesday off. So I had a flat 2 weeks off of work, which was pretty nice. Though, as a trade-off, I now have to work Sundays. I have Tuesday and Wednesday off, but I have to work Saturdays and Sundays, so my week is very weird now. But it sounds like the Saturdays aren't too bad, and Sundays, it sounds, are pretty relaxed. I'm not sure. We'll see. But it is what it is. I don't have as much work stuff to worry about as I did before, which I'm completely fine with. But I have a feeling there'll be some big changes coming in a few months, but I can't comment further on that yet. But yeah. That's kind of the that's pretty much everything, honestly. Not a whole lot went on. I was I've been a little too tired to do a lot in the past week. That's why this is coming out a little later than, like, right after I got back. But yeah, I am gonna be trying to work on a few other things, some small personal projects. I say that a bit, but usually those are very small projects that don't require too much commenting on. But there's one I really want to try to get done within the next month. But we'll see how that is. Speaking of next month, it's gonna be coming up on the end of this little blog update journey, where it'll have been about a year since I started doing this pretty inconsistently, but it's been a pretty nutty year. But here's hoping that with 2026 things will be a little smoother, though I have doubts. But yeah, I'll make sure to have that one out on the actual day it should be coming out, which should be the 2nd. But in the meantime, like I said, I'll be working on some small projects, doing some little craft bits here and there, having a bit of fun with it, and yeah. Hoping everyone else's year has started out decently well. Sounds like it's been a bit hectic back home, but you know, that's seems to be normalcy for January back in the States. But yeah, that's kind of all I got to talk about now. I'm sure I'll have some more finale-esque discussions when we come up to the next video, which will be about the 9-year anniversary of me in Japan. So, until then, everybody, take care, stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye.